What if I told you that some of the biggest hits of the 1970s were banned from the airwaves? Songs so controversial, so daring, that radio stations refused to play them. But here's the twist. Instead of fading into obscurity, these banned hits became even more legendary. It's a phenomenon that's as fascinating as it is surprising. In this video, we're counting down 10 1970s hits that were banned on the radio only to skyrocket in popularity. So why did these songs face such backlash, and how did their exclusion only make them more iconic? Stay with me as we unravel the stories behind the controversy and show how these tracks turned rebellion into superstardom. Before we dive in, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and let us know in the comments if you ever heard any of these songs on the radio back in the day.
Number 10. Lonely Boy, Andrew Gold, 1977. At number 10, we have Lonely Boy by Andrew Gold, a hauntingly beautiful track that's just as much about isolation as it is about yearning for connection. Released in 1977, this song quickly became a hit, but not without controversy. Its candid lyrics about loneliness, emotional vulnerability, and personal struggles struck a nerve. Radio stations, especially those catering to a more mainstream audience, deemed it too dark and intense for airplay. The song's raw emotion was seen as something too personal for the general public. As a result, Lonely Boy was banned in several places. But here's where the story gets interesting. Instead of fading into obscurity, the song's exclusion actually boosted its appeal. Fans gravitated toward the track, drawn to its honesty and depth. It became a symbol of unspoken emotions, a song that people didn't just listen to, they felt it. Andrew Gold may have been a lonely boy, but his song found a connection with listeners that transcended any ban. The track went on to climb the charts, proving that sometimes the more something is pushed away, the more it draws people in.
Number 9. Punk Rock Girl by the Dead Milkmen, 1970s. Coming in at number 9 is Punk Rock Girl by the Dead Milkmen, a quirky and satirical anthem that became an unexpected classic in the punk scene. Released in the late 70s, the song's cheeky lyrics and infectious energy made it a standout track. However, its irreverence and critique of mainstream culture didn't sit well with radio stations at the time. The song poked fun at the commercialization of punk rock, a movement that was supposed to be anti-establishment, and it didn't hold back. This boldness led to several stations banning the song, with critics arguing that it undermined the seriousness of punk and its political roots. But as with many banned songs, this controversy only added fuel to the fire. The ban actually gave the song an edge, and punk fans embraced it with even more passion. Punk Rock Girl became a rallying cry for the rebellious youth of the time, and its influence is still felt today in the punk rock world. Despite being shunned by radio, it became one of the most beloved tracks of the genre, showing that when music pushes boundaries, it often finds an even stronger fan base.
Number 8. The Only Living Boy in New York by Simon and Garfunkel, 1972. At number 8, we have The Only Living Boy in New York by Simon and Garfunkel, a beautifully melancholic ballad that captured the loneliness of city life. The song, released in 1972, is often seen as a reflection on the duo's relationship, especially during the period when Paul Simon was spending time apart from Art Garfunkel. The song's soft, introspective tone and cryptic lyrics were too ambiguous and emotionally charged for mainstream radio at the time. Stations didn't know quite how to categorize it, too gentle to be a pop hit, too complex to fit into traditional folk. The song faced bans on several stations for its perceived sadness and the personal undertones, which some felt were too raw for the general public. However, instead of being forgotten, The Only Living Boy in New York found its place in the hearts of listeners who related to its themes of isolation and longing. Its airplay became more underground, gaining traction in certain circles, and eventually becoming one of Simon and Garfunkel's most beloved songs. The band gave it a kind of mystique, turning it into a cult classic. Over time, it became not just a song, but an anthem for anyone who had ever felt alone in the world, making its eventual rise in popularity all the more remarkable.
Number 7. Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd, 1979. At number 7, we have Another Brick in the Wall by Pink Floyd, a song that became an anthem of defiance and rebellion. Released in 1979 as part of their iconic album, The Wall, this track stood out not only for its powerful message, but also for its bold critique of the educational system. The chorus, "We don't need no education," was a direct shot at the oppressive nature of traditional schooling, and it didn't take long for radio stations to take notice. In fact, it was banned in several countries, particularly those with more conservative governments that viewed it as a threat to social order. But banning Another Brick in the Wall only helped solidify its status as an anthem of youth rebellion. As with many songs of protest, the ban made it even more desirable. It became a rallying cry for students and young people who felt similarly alienated by the system, and its powerful message resonated across borders. The song became a worldwide hit, propelling Pink Floyd to new heights of fame and making The Wall one of the most influential rock albums ever. The ban only turned what was already a massive cultural statement into a global phenomenon. Number 6. Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, 1976. At number 6, we have the eerie and iconic Don't Fear the Reaper by Blue Oyster Cult, released in 1976. From the very first chord, this song exudes a sense of haunting beauty. But it was also a source of major controversy. The track's central theme deals with death and the idea of eternal love, and its haunting lyrics were interpreted by many as promoting morbid thoughts and even a glorification of death. This, of course, led to the song being banned on some radio stations, particularly those that had a more conservative approach to programming. Despite the ban, or perhaps because of it, Don't Fear the Reaper became a cultural touchstone. The haunting imagery and the gentle plea to not fear death struck a chord with listeners, offering a kind of comfort in the face of mortality. Far from being a song that glorified death, it was a reflection on the inevitability of life's end, encouraging people to embrace life's fleeting beauty. The ban only fueled its popularity, and over time, it became one of the most enduring rock songs of the era, often appearing on best-of lists and still resonating with audiences today. The controversy surrounding the track made it all the more iconic, transforming it into an anthem for those who sought solace in its melancholic message. Number 5. God Save the Queen by the Sex Pistols, 1977. Coming in at number 5, we have God Save the Queen by the infamous Sex Pistols, one of the most controversial punk anthems of all time. Released in 1977, this track was a direct challenge to the British monarchy in the establishment. The song's title, a twist on the British national anthem, immediately grabbed attention, but it was the lyrics that really set the stage for its ban. With lines like, "God save the Queen, the fascist regime," the Sex Pistols weren't just criticizing the monarchy, they were openly calling out the entire political system at the time. The song was banned on nearly every major radio station in the UK, and its release was surrounded by outrage. The controversy surrounding God Save the Queen was so intense that it even sparked protests, and the song became a symbol of the punk rock movement's rebellious spirit. Despite the ban, or perhaps because of it, the song quickly gained popularity, reaching the top of the charts. Its punk ethos resonated with a generation that was fed up with the status quo, and the song's defiance against authority made it an anthem for those seeking a voice in a time of political unrest. God Save the Queen became more than just a song. It was a statement, a declaration of freedom and rebellion. The ban only fueled its fame, and the controversy ensured its place as one of the most important and influential tracks in rock history. The Sex Pistols may have been banned from the airwaves, but their message found its way into the hearts of millions.
Number 4. Louie Louie by the Kingsmen. At number 4, we have Louie Louie by the Kingsmen, a song that became one of the most iconic rock tracks of the 1960s, despite, or perhaps because of, the controversy surrounding it. Released in 1963, the track was initially a cover of an R&B hit by Richard Berry, but the Kingsmen's version became infamous for a different reason: its lyrics. The song's fast-paced, garbled vocals made it difficult to understand, leading to widespread speculation about what was actually being sung. Some listeners thought the lyrics contained obscene content, and this sparked an investigation by the FBI. The controversy over Louie Louie was intense, with stations across the U.S. banning it from airplay. Despite the lack of clarity in the lyrics, the FBI investigation ended with no concrete evidence of obscenity, but the ban only fueled the song's legend. The mystery of the lyrics only added to its allure, and Louie Louie went on to become one of the most beloved songs of the era. The controversy didn't stop its momentum. Instead, it turned it into a cultural phenomenon. The song became a symbol of youthful rebellion, a track that represented the defiance of the establishment. Ultimately, Louie Louie proved that sometimes it's not the lyrics that make a song iconic, it's the story behind it. Despite being banned, the track's mystery and the public's fascination with its alleged obscenity only made it more popular. In the end, Louie Louie became a classic, forever cementing its place in rock history.
Number 3. I Am the Walrus by the Beatles. At number 3, we have I Am the Walrus by the Beatles, a song that pushed the boundaries of both music and language. Released in 1967, this track was a product of the band's experimentation with psychedelia, blending surreal lyrics, complex structures, and unconventional sounds. The song's meaning has been a subject of debate for decades, and its avant-garde style was something that radio stations at the time weren't quite ready to handle. Despite its artistic brilliance, I Am the Walrus was banned by some radio stations due to its perceived obscurity in the fear that its bizarre imagery would confuse listeners. What made the ban even more intriguing was that the lyrics were so open to interpretation, with lines like "yellow matter custard dripping from a dead dog's eye" and "the Eggman," causing both shock and fascination. Many saw the song as too strange and difficult to decipher, leading to it being pulled from airplay on mainstream radio. But here's the twist: the ban didn't stop the song from becoming one of the Beatles' most iconic tracks. The controversy only fueled curiosity, and I Am the Walrus became a symbol of the counterculture movement, embracing the nonsensical and the unconventional. The song's refusal to fit into any traditional genre or structure was a reflection of the Beatles' artistic freedom at the time, and its eventual rise in popularity proved that sometimes it's the songs that challenge the norm that end up becoming the most influential. Number 2, Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple, 1972. At number 2, we have Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple, one of the most iconic rock songs in history, but it almost didn't make it onto the airwaves at all. Released in 1972, the song's unforgettable riff became an instant classic, but its rise to fame was anything but smooth. The track's controversial lyrics were initially met with resistance, and some radio stations in the United States banned it due to its association with bad influences on young listeners. The song's gritty, rebellious tone, paired with its subject matter, led some stations to pull it from their playlists, fearing it might encourage antisocial behavior. But rather than fading away, Smoke on the Water did the opposite. The ban only served to increase its allure, with fans actively seeking out the track. The song's riff became a defining moment for rock music, and its ban only seemed to fuel its legend. Smoke on the Water became more than just a song. It became an anthem of defiance, a rallying cry for rock fans who found themselves drawn to its rebellious spirit. The song's popularity skyrocketed, and it went on to become one of the most played rock songs in history. The controversy surrounding it only added to its mystique, turning it into a cultural phenomenon that still echoes through the rock world today.
Number 1. Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin, 1971. At number 1, we have Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin, a track that needs no introduction, but did face its own share of controversy. Released in 1971, this song became the definitive anthem of rock music, transcending generations and shaping the very fabric of the genre. But what many don't know is that despite its widespread acclaim, Stairway to Heaven was banned from certain radio stations. The song's ethereal and mystical lyrics, paired with its soaring guitar solo, led some to label it as satanic or evil. In the era of rock's growing influence on youth culture, any song with cryptic lyrics or metaphysical themes was bound to attract scrutiny. The controversy started with the song's lyrics, which many interpreted as promoting occult themes. Lines like, "And as we wind on down the road, our shadows taller than our soul," sparked rumors that the song had hidden messages, fueling accusations of Satanism. Some conservative radio stations, wary of the public backlash, decided to ban the song outright, fearing it would stir up more trouble than it was worth. But the more it was banned, the more its legend grew. Fans flocked to it, hungry for the mystery behind its lyrics. Stairway to Heaven became more than just a song. It became a cultural touchstone, a rite of passage for anyone who loved rock music. The ban couldn't stop its meteoric rise. In fact, the very accusations that tried to shut it down only propelled it to greater heights. It became a symbol of rock's rebellious spirit and remains one of the most powerful and enduring songs in the history of music.
So there you have it, the 10 1970s hits that were banned on the radio, yet became even bigger because of it. The controversy surrounding these tracks only added to their power, turning them into anthems of rebellion, defiance, and in many cases, cultural change. From God Save the Queen challenging the establishment, to Stairway to Heaven becoming a symbol of rock's mystique, these songs prove that sometimes being banned only makes you more legendary. These tracks were more than just banned songs. They were statements, challenging norms and inviting listeners to think differently. Whether it was through their lyrics, their sound, or the stories behind them, they captured the essence of the time and continue to resonate with us today. But we want to know, what do you think? Which one of these banned hits shocked you the most? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this countdown, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss out on more fascinating stories from music history.